Greetings viewers, this is Macho Maverick coming at you with another video. Today we're going to review the high-end Master Model Zoids Genosaurer, the repackaged version. Now, for the Genosaurer, it's been in several renditions of the Zoids anime. Most notably, it's been shown in Zoids Chaotic Century, along with the second season, Zoids Guardian Force. This Zoids was actually piloted by the protagonist's rival, Raven, and it was mainly a Zoid after Raven's Saber Fang, Great Saber, Great Tiger Zoid was destroyed in battle by Van Flyheist's Sheerliger. And after that, he piloted the Genosaurer for quite some time, and after the time skip, he brought back the Genosaurer, but just a different color variation. His first Genosaurer was more purple violet base, whereas the second one was more red base. Now, as for Chaotic Century and going for the side, as for Zoids New Century, the Genosaurer was only shown in the second to last episode. It was actually 3 Genosaurs, and they were hired to go against Vega Obscura, which was the last opponent for the Blitz team during the finals for the World Cup, or something along those lines, in order to get into the S-Class. But they were 3 Genosaurs trying to destroy the Berserk Fury, piloted by Vega Obscura, but fortunately it did not work, and the Berserk Fury defeated all 3 Genosaurs. Aside from that, though, the Genosaurer has been shown in the comic, various video games, and other forms of media. But that's enough about the history. Let's get to the box. Now, before I continue, I just want to state that I actually built this before, so this was just going to be a full-on review video for the Genosaurer. Now that you know, let's continue. As you can see here, it has a very nice, powerful stance, and definitely it was during battle. You can see other Zoids on the ground that was destroyed, presumably by the Genosaurer. Right here, there's definitely the head of a Darkhorn, the head of a Great Saber or Saber Fang. That definitely is a Sheerliger. And I can't tell what this one is per se, but my guess is it might be the body of a Great Saber, but I could be wrong. But yes, the Genosaurer is definitely a powerful Zoid, especially due to 2 things. One being it is capable to have an organoid system. In the anime Zoids Chaotic Century and Guardian Force, they were these organoid creatures, so to speak, and Raven had his own called Shadow, and because of Shadow, Raven was able to amplify the weaponry and the mobility, the pilot, everything for the Genosaurer to make it a much more fearsome opponent in the battlefield. But that aside, though, another thing that the Genosaurer was actually famous for is its charged particle cannon, which I will explain more later on in this video. But one thing for sure is that in the lore of Zoids, there was a giant Zoid, more Godzilla-esque, if you will, called the Deathsaur. And personally, I would say that the Genosaurer is a much smaller version of a Deathsaur. But that's just my take on that. But to continue on, as you can see here, the code for the Genosaurer is the EZ026. EZ is the Empire Goalless Zoid. Of course, the Goalless Empire is just one of the 2 factions in the Zoids lore, so to speak. So this is a repackaged version, and I want to add this. Repackaged version or Mark Plus usually are the second or third versions of the kit. Now, if you just see the name of the Zoid, most likely is the first version of it. Now, the first version of the Genosaurer actually had the Raven figurine. I stated in my Shadow Fox and Lago Zero video, review videos, is that the first wave of the Zoids Kurabukia line, the Zoids figures that can actually articulate, can actually move, can actually pose, whereas the Tomy one, the Hasbro one from the early 2000s, were the mobilized line. But like I said, the first Genosaurer kit that came during the Kurabukia line had a Raven and a Shadow figurine. They could put inside a cockpit, which I will show later on. But fortunately, I do not have the. I just have a regular pilot figurine for this kit. But in any case, moving on. But yes, a very nice art style for the front of the box. Here you see a much more more cartoony or anime version of these Genosaurer. I just noticed that the claws on this left hand just seems a bit separated, and there's not much detail on this right foot. But other than that, very nice detail in this sketch here. Move it around. So here you also have various poses, and this is what I'm talking about here when I mentioned about the charged particle gun or cannon, whichever you like to pronounce it as. Basically, the way how the Zoids is positioned, which again I will show later, that they are anchors on behind his feet that's going to like anchor down on the ground, so that way it stabilizes and is grounded, so that way it can properly fire the cannon without any kickback or recoil. But aside from that, also there are some vents on his tail to release some steam. And of course, the mouth is open where the cannon is located. And this kit, the pilot is a little bit different. So if you see my previous videos, you will see that the Zoid core and pilot are in two different places. In this case, the pilot and Zoid core are the it's inside the same, I guess, pilot case in the cockpit, which I will show later on. And of course, your decal sheet right here, your water slides. And one last thing, just like every other high-end master model Zoids kit, this is a 1/72 scale. But that's enough about the box. Let's get straight to the figure. I almost forgot to show the instruction manual for this kit. Again, it's been a while since I've actually done a full figure review, especially for a kit that I've built some years ago. But moving on, so yeah, simple instruction manual right here. And there is the Genosaurer firing is a charged particle cannon. Some nice schematics. Of course, everything is labeled, of course, in Japanese characters, which unfortunately I am unable to read. Right here is showing the dimensions for the Zoid. It is 23 meters tall. Actually, I think it's 23 meters long, 11.7 meters tall, 112.8 tons, and it can go at 260 kilometers per hour. And here's all the runners that come with the kit. Doesn't seem too many. And of course, as every other Zoid kit, it starts with a head, then onto the body. Continue on with the lower body. the tail, the one of the main weapons, the arms, and the legs, and final assembly. And also this kit comes with an attachment piece for an actual base, which I will show momentarily. More schematics, and the color diagram. And of course it shows you how to apply the water slides, or water decals. More poses, the back view, the weapon 1 right here, side view, Zoids Genosaurer, and this other weapon, which is the charged particle cannon. Here is the sheet in case you need to order new parts, and a much closer look at the water slides. And now on to the figure. And here is the high-end master model Zoids Genosaurer. And now that I see it, as you can see here, is very nicely proportioned. Has a very nice aesthetic to it. I always like the way how this looks. One thing I do want to add is I did do some customization on this kit. I did some painting. So I want to add that the toes here, these little parts on each side of the foot, these anchors, so to speak, in order to ground the Zoid. The main weapon here, the teeth, the claws, the weapon on top of his head, another piece there too, are all white. And I didn't really like the color, so I decided to change it up. I made a mistake of using a different type of paint. I didn't mind the color, but the type of brand I used was different compared to the rest of the pieces I've shown here. The weapons, the claws. Aside from color, it was a different brand of paint, and I kind of wish I did not use these because the paint that I used was very thick. I didn't even use 2 coats, there's only 1 coat, but it came out very thick that whenever I tried to move the toes, and I'll show that in a minute, it was very stiff, very hard to move without adding too much stress. But that aside, I decided to paint all of it to make it stand out a little bit. Right here around the eyes were more purple, and I just did not like that, so I decided to just paint over that silver, which I am happy with. I definitely make this kit stand out a little bit more. But that aside, that's the only thing in terms of customization I did with this kit. But yeah, I am really happy the way how this looks after it's fully built. And yeah, I definitely, like I said, has a very nice menacing look to it. Now to show you some articulation, but before I do, the Zoid core for this kit is actually right here, and you can just take it out. So here's the Zoid core, and inside is the pilot, and you can just see this feet, but just take this off, you see the pilot. And that's the kind of color that was used for the weapons, the claws, the toes. It was that color. So I hope you can understand why I decided to paint over it. So I'm just going to move that to the side. So in terms of articulation, the legs can go all the way if need be. Like so. There's a joint at the knee, like so. A small joint right here on the ankle. I kind of wish there was something else here. I feel like it's a empty space here. I kind of wish they made this joint just a little bit bigger, but that's just me. The anchor here. This flap here to get raised in order to ground the Zoid, or also for its jets behind his shins. This piece for the knee can also move around. I'll try to show this the best I can, but these toes, I don't think I can. Okay. Do move individually, but like I said, because of the paint I use, it's kind of hard to do that. So the arms can move like so. Elbow joint. The claws can, oops. And actually, I'm kind of glad I did take that off because I also want to show something else. The claws can move. Like so. And one thing that came with this kit is you can actually take this piece out. And you can attach this piece here. The one thing about this Zoid is that it has retractable claws. So you can just do something like that. I'll keep that attached for the time being. The head can, well, not detached. There we go. What I'm meant to do is just slightly move this up and down. There's some flaps around its neck that can open, like so. The head can move side all around. The mouth can open, and this is the gun that I mentioned. It doesn't really stick out, but just open like so. Now this gun on top of his head, there's actually two guns that come with this kit. This one is the more show accurate, so I kept that one. This gun can actually move around, and I believe these can individually, yep, individually can move. The tail can swivel side to side. And the tail can move up and down and side to side as well. And lastly, these vents on each one of his tails, each one of his part of the tail, what I meant to say, can all open for the charged particle cannon. About it for articulation. And now for some side-by-side comparisons. Here's the Genosaurer right beside the 1/100 scale Master Grade Buster Gundam. So definitely have a height advantage here. Here's it beside the figurized standard amplified War Greymon from Digimon. So definitely has the height advantage there too. Here's it beside the Master Grade 1/100 scale Sazabi. So fortunately the Master Grade Sazabi is definitely bigger, and I would say even bulkier too. Let's see, get side profile. And in terms of length, definitely Genosaurer got this one, but obviously the Sazabi is definitely bulkier. What do you all think? Turn that over. And lastly, here is up beside is rival in the Zoids Genosaurer Century, the high-end master model Blade Liger. So it definitely has the height advantage here. I think the Blade Liger might be just slightly wider. And in terms of length, I would say is fairly close. But if the neck and tail is fully extended, might be different. And that's it for side-by-side comparisons. And here's the Genosaurer with his iconic charged particle gun pose. So as I stated earlier, that the anchors are grounded. You can see here, right here is raised up. The vents are extended on the tail, along with some parts on the neck just stands out, and of course mouth open and cannon out. Yeah, this is mainly the main weapon for the Genosaurer. So I'm really happy that this kit was able to really show that iconic pose that is seen in many different forms of Zoids media. So I'm really happy that I was able to recreate this. The one thing I would give credit with this kit is that just like some other Zoids kits, not all of them, but this one actually comes with an attachment here. And what you need to do is you gotta attach it to the underside of this kit, right between his legs, right there. It's pretty snug, like so. And if you have a action base, you can have this Zoid in some aerial poses. And the fact that this kit, or really this Zoid, I'm sorry, has some jets, in his back of his legs, and also I think behind the main gun too. But with those, you can actually have some, not too much, but some, some elevation, some aerial poses for this kit. So definitely does work out, well, at least for the best it can. Given because I will say this kit is just a little bit hefty, and I don't know whether it is the kit or just one of the joints on my action base is a little bit loose. So I'm just trying to make sure it's as capable as it can be. But I just want to show you this, that it is possible to have some aerial poses. And I will show here that there is some proper articulation, as I shown earlier in this video, that you can actually have this kit in some certain poses, so it definitely does work out. And on that note, I want to take this time to share my the good, the bad, and everything else in between, along with my final verdict: is this a kit worth getting? So all for the good. The color scheme. Everything does work well. I really do like, even though I did do some custom paints on a few things, it was fine. It really is. It was really good. Even though if I would kept it as white, the white would definitely stand out. So it's definitely that one thing there. So it will stand out. That is, if you just want to keep it white. I do highly recommend just painting it silver like I did, but again, just my opinion personally. But that aside, the color scheme does work well everywhere. Really nice balance, not just the white or just because it's silver, but the gunmetal, the red, some brown, the purple, everything works pretty well. So good plus there. Proportion-wise, it's not a good plus. I don't feel like anything here is too big or too small. I think it is just right. The articulation is another big one. As I showed earlier, there's good forms of articulation. I did read that some people feel like it was limited, but I think it's actually pretty good for what we're given. So I can't, no complaints there. Another thing is pretty much show accurate. Unfortunately, I checked earlier, and this seems like it's pretty accurate to how it's shown. But yeah, that aside is a pretty nice kit. So now for the bad. Bad is, and I don't know whether this is due to the test of time, but as I was posing this kit for this video, and I was getting it ready, parts keep on falling off. As it was shown earlier, the wrist came off a few times as I was posing. The Zoid core actually kept on coming off. The neck was dislocated earlier. I didn't. This was not shown, so good thing there. But earlier, the waist was detached, and I decided to put a little bit of liquid cement in there. Nothing too bad. It was not a articulation point, so it was no harm, no foul. But yeah, this kit just parts keep on falling off, and again, I am unsure whether it's the kit itself or just a test of time. But if you have this kit, let me know in the comments down below if you had that same issue. But that's just the main thing. I can't think of anything else. I will say, and this is, I know I mentioned the color scheme is good. The only bad one is the white parts. Again, to give you a good example, these parts here that was used for the wrist that I showed earlier to rechargeable claws, so to speak. This is the color that I'm talking about. This is for the gun, the claws, the feet, the teeth, everything. It was this color. So now to look at it, it's not really white. It's more like a very light gray white, almost like a cloud. So think about cloud white. But anyway, even with this color, it's not that bad. But I would say, I wish it was. I wish they just kept this color like a silver, just like here. I find it odd that they use this color, but that's my personal opinion. I know earlier I said about Shiraku, I was talking about just the Zord itself. The color scheme, of course, can be a little different. As I said earlier, that in the show, Raven first Genosaurer was more purple base, whereas the second one is more red base. So think about all the purple on his kit be replaced with red. So that would be the bigger difference. So the color scheme, again, I wouldn't say it's that bad per se, but my argument is, you don't need to have that off-white color you can use. I kind of wish the manufacturing was silver instead. But that's just my personal opinion. Now that with that being said, is this a kit worth getting? So I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say that. This is a very nice kit, given some drawbacks here and there. Now, the repackaged version that I have, I think it actually was the second Genosaurer that came out. I could be wrong, maybe it's the third. But they always bring this kit, I would say every year or every other year. So I would say every repackaged version that comes out, I'm hoping that they fix anything that was wrong in the previous version of the kit. So that's actually a really good sign that, and even if it's unavailable, just wait just a little bit. They will always bring this kit back. I've always seen it in hobbylakejapan.com, and actually I think that's where I actually got this kit. So shout out to them. But yeah, I will definitely say for sure that this kit is indeed worth getting, especially if you are a Zoids fan. The one argument I will give is this kit should not be your first kit. Build some kits in the meantime. Just trying to get better skill set. Then tackle this kit. But I would say if you tackled a master grade gunpla kit, then I say you can give this kit a shot. Thank you all for watching. I've been wanting to review this kit for quite some time now, so I'm really happy that I was able to take the time to review this. I hope you all enjoy. But yeah, this was a fun little review, and I do recall when I did build this kit, I did have some fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was good, especially the fact that I decided to do some custom paint job on this one. Again, I do recommend you use a silver or maybe even gunmetal, like a light gunmetal. I think that would be good as well. So with that being said, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more video updates. My social links are down below. There are 2 videos here. One's most recent and one that YouTube picked out. So with all that being said, again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, keep on building. For those who've seen my Blade Liger review, be sure to check my channel for that. I mentioned that the Blade Liger kind of transformed from the Shield Liger, at the very least that it was shown in the Zoids Chaos Century. Well, the Shield Liger transforming into the Blade Liger wasn't the only Zord that transformed. Say hello to the Geno Breaker. Stay tuned.